So one of the things that I sometimes see business owners struggle with is knowing what type of accounting support they need as their business grows and scales. From a financial perspective, your business will look very different at $300,000 than it will at $3 million of annual revenue. In the same way, your accounting needs are going to look very different. So we typically see our clients fall into three basic categories, defined loosely by revenue. These aren't hard and fast numbers. Every business is different, and that's why it's important to be able to partner with an accounting firm that can help you walk through the particulars of your business and really understand what you need at the stage that you're at. But here are the three basic stages that we see. Stage one, I would just call that survival. So at that stage, typically you're talking about someone who's just starting out up to maybe $400,000 or $500,000 of annual revenue. And at this stage, business owners are typically asking questions like, how much money am I making? How much will I owe in taxes? How do I even pay my taxes? At this stage, probably the most important thing that you can have is good bookkeeping. With good bookkeeping, your tax preparer will be able to give you an accurate idea of how much you need to set aside for your taxes when tax time comes. When you don't have good bookkeeping, you can end up paying too little or too much in taxes, and that can cause all kinds of trouble and headaches later on. So stage two, I would define stage two with one word, that is structure. Typically, companies in this stage are anywhere from $500,000 in revenue to $1.5 million or $2 million in annual revenue. At this point, you've got more customers, which means you're tracking more people who owe you money. You've got more vendors, which means you're tracking more people that you owe money to. And you're also hiring employees or adding more contractors, which means you need a payroll system that helps you to consistently pay your employees on time and accurately. At this stage, more money is moving through the company, but somehow cash always feels tighter. And at this stage, it's more important than ever to have a good understanding of your cash flow. You'll be able to know whether you can make payroll, whether you can pay your vendors, or whether you can pay yourself as the owner. When you don't have the right structure in place, that growth can create chaos. Bills start stacking up, invoices go out to customers, but payments never come, or they come late. Payroll becomes a weekly source of anxiety. At this stage, just having good bookkeeping alone often isn't enough. And what we typically see is customers need help managing the day-to-day flow of money in and out of the business. And so that looks like making sure that customers are being invoiced in a timely manner and somebody is following up on payment. It means keeping track of vendor invoices that are coming in and need to be paid and knowing when to pay for them. And it means having a system, a payroll system, to accurately and consistently track employees and contractor pay to make sure that you keep your team happy. And then also being able to manage those cash flows in and out so that you know as the owner that you can pay yourself, which is a really important piece at this stage. Having the right accounting partner can help you to set up and manage those processes to help maintain healthy cash flow in your business. Stage three, I would define with one word, visibility. Stage three, companies typically have revenues ranging from $1.5 to $2 million and up. And at that point, business owners are further removed from the day-to-day business processes. You may have multiple levels of management and supervision that you're working with, and you're further from the day-to-day than you've ever been before. At this point, you're not asking the basic questions like, are we profitable or can we make payroll? You're asking questions like, when can we afford to hire that next key role? And when we do make that hire, how is that going to impact our financial health and our performance? You're asking questions like, when should we expand? How can we improve our margins and our profitability? Or the COVID question, what happens if revenues dip for a few months? Are we going to have enough cash to survive? At this stage, just looking at a P&L is not going to give you the visibility that you need to understand how your company is truly performing. At this stage, you should be monitoring key metrics and performance indicators. You know, most business owners that I know, they have at least one or two key drivers that impact their business. They know what those drivers are, and they know instinctively what those indicators are that help to drive the business. Let me give you a quick example. If you're a staffing company, your key metrics probably revolve around either the number of labor hours that your staff are contracted for on a monthly basis, or what is your margin for each employee or each hour of labor. And so those are the kinds of things I'm talking about. So in that stage, you start to shift your thinking from what happened yesterday, what happened last week, last month, to what's going to happen a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, maybe even a longer time horizon. And at that stage, when you have the right accounting partner that can help you gain that clarity that you need, they're also going to help you focus on having the right information, and they'll be a sounding board to help you make better decisions. If you're curious about what any of these stages might look like for your business, or if you're in one of these stages and you feel like maybe you're not getting everything that you need, hit me up. I'd love to talk about that and help you understand what that could look like with the right accounting partner.